Good afternoon and welcome to the 200th episode of the Georgia Farm Bureau Georgia Prep Sports Drive for the GHSA State Title. We're going to have two guests today. It's going to be Josh Shaw, the head football coach at Cherokee, the only Class 7A Cherokee school. They're gearing up for a big 2023 season. And then we're going to have Vince Strine, that's North Springs Athletic Director, on, and a lot of excitement. We were going to have them on this past Friday, but I'm glad we waited. Their boys basketball team just clinched a playoff spot with their win over GAC last night, a huge accomplishment for them. We're going to hit some news later, but we'll go ahead and just get right into it with Coach Shaw. Coach, welcome on. How's it going?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yep, so I said in the intro, you guys are the only 7A Cherokee school. That's great, just you guys being that high standard in Cherokee. There's a ton of great teams, new teams popping up. Just talk about that responsibility, that opportunity for you guys to just represent the county as a whole, just competing at the highest level.
Yeah, and obviously we're the lone soldier still standing in the county. It's forced us to do some funky stuff scheduling wise because we have some pretty intense rivalries with some other county schools, and it has forced us now to play them in a non-region capacity as opposed to a region capacity. So, to keep those rivalries going, Woodstock, Etowah, Sequoia, to name a couple of them. And so, but we try to tell our kids you want to compete at the highest level. 7A in the state of Georgia is about as good as it gets, and we are who we are, and we know that there's not going to be any easy games at any point on our schedule, and certainly not in 7A.
Yeah, I know you guys, I think, scrimmaged River Ridge last year. That's another kind of team in that area. Are you guys going to go that same route this year with the River Ridge scrimmage or someone else?
So we'll scrimmage River Ridge in the spring, and then we'll scrimmage Creekview in the fall. That'll be our fall scrimmage. So we actually hit every county, every other county school throughout the course of the season. We got the other three that I mentioned are in our non-region slate.
Yep, Etowah, Woodstock, and Sequoia. Those would be the rivalries. I know you guys don't consider Walton a rivalry, but back when I was there, we had some great games with Cherokee. One that stands out, you guys beat us without throwing the ball once, just out physical to us. So it's that Cherokee brand of football. So you guys might have some rivals you don't know of.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been here 11 years. We've beaten Walton a couple times. We've got a couple of good games, but, obviously those guys, Walton and North Cobb, are the two upper echelon teams in our region, and gonna have to fight and scrap for everything against those two to try to knock them off.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of talk about the region you're in next year. It's Region 5. It's outstanding. But really, you talked about the non-region schools you played. You guys challenge yourself with the outstanding schedule. You don't really worry about what's outside of your control. You just show up and play each week. So you guys got a big 2023 coming up. Just talk about the off-season preparation to come out and start strong this year.
Well, we started 11 sophomores last year. We had graduated 27 seniors after 2021, headlined by A.J. Swan, and, who's having a stellar career so far over at Vanderbilt. So we knew we were in last year a little bit of a rebuilding mode. We started 11 sophomores, and some of those guys weren't ready, but they were the best players that we had at those positions, so they were forced in early. And the great thing about starting a young team predominantly is that you get everybody else, you get them all coming back. So we are graduating 21 seniors from this past fall, but probably only a small handful of them contributed. So definitely need to replace Kyan Simmons. He'll be a big one. Our outside linebacker had a phenomenal year. He was the county defensive player of the year, had 12 sacks. So we do have some guys, got to replace two offensive linemen, corner Ryan Martin Jr., who had a good year, got the pick six against Kennesaw Mountain to clinch a playoff spot for us. So we do got some seniors we got to replace, but extremely excited. And beyond just the fact that we've got a lot of talent coming back, is just great kids. Our off-season workouts, we have all our players in the morning, 9 through 12. We get them all in the morning before school. Get to work them out. Our off-season workouts are going fantastic to this point. And, we always judge kind of where we are in the weight room and even on the field, whether it's coach-led or player-led. And right now we've got enough leadership in our locker room to where if a coach didn't show up for a workout, we would be just fine, and the players would be able to, they wouldn't miss a beat. And so that's kind of where we're at. Just a fun, great group of kids I enjoy being with every morning right now.
For sure. And as a coach, that's what you like to see, the guys kind of being driven by themselves. I know at this point of the year, though, you want to really stress the conditioning so you can focus on the install and the actual football preparation later on. So what's your overall sense, though, of just how they're embracing the offseason, just coming off a year where they did experience some growth throughout it, a lot to learn from, but just where their focus is at this point and just what they want to accomplish this year?
Yeah, no, it was a testament to a lot of these youngsters. We went 3-8 last year, but still qualified for the playoffs in 7A. In what was going to be considered a rebuilding year for us. So, they're just they're a fun group of kids, like I mentioned. A lot of leadership, really headlined by our upcoming junior class, probably the best class that will come through this high school collectively. We do got a ton of upcoming seniors that will be an X factor, Javon Hobson and some of those. But this time of the year, we're just hitting the weight room hard, strength, speed, conditioning, and really doing a lot of self-reflecting and self-scouting from last year's season, and really meeting with our kids in regards to areas that we need to improve going into this year. We didn't play as well as we could have at points last year. And so beyond the fact that, we got to get our players better, coaches want to improve as well. So just doing a lot of self-scout during the off season and getting things lined up of areas that we need to improve when we start our spring practice in May.
For sure. And you talked about all the young players, sophomores you played last year. You're entering a new region. There are some new teams, some familiar ones, but your sophomore quarterback last year, Tanner Savasier, I know you're really excited about him. That's not easy to do, not only to step in as a sophomore, but to do it with a lot of young pieces around him. So what do you see, just the way he carried himself last season, the big win over Kennesaw Mountain, and just where he's at heading into a big junior year? Oh, got kicked off. Sorry. A little early. Let me text Vince real quick. So, Tanner in that win over Kennesaw Mountain, which was huge. Kennesaw Mountain, I think they did have some injuries last year, but if you remember, they came in, they were a top 10 team. All right, we got Coach back, but, talk about Tanner a little bit, just what you saw from him in just that tough role, stepping in as a sophomore into the spotlight, and just where he's at, just heading into his junior season.
Yeah, no, we are extremely excited about Tanner and not only the weapons that he's got around him, but just, he threw for 1,600 yards last year, 14 TDs as a 10th grader. He was hip to hip with AJ the year before as a freshman, actually got some varsity time as a freshman the year before, but he brings all the intangibles to the table. He's as cool as a cucumber. He's a tremendous leader. Not overly vocal, and that's something that he continues to work on and get better at. But just he's extremely accurate as well. He puts the ball in windows. Doesn't have the arm strength of AJ, but he is extremely accurate and puts the ball in windows and puts it in places where only our receivers can catch it. So. And runs our offense. Last year too, Coach Kevin Burnett came over from Kell, was replacing Justin Pierce. So we had a new offensive coordinator last year, a new offense that we installed. And Coach Burnett wasn't able to get here last spring because he was coaching lacrosse at Kell. And so we were kind of behind the eight ball, spent a lot of time during the summer installing. And, And so I'm just extremely excited about our offense and our offensive staff, being together and the chemistry that they had during the fall, but just continuing that, not having any turnover, and along with, the players and Tanner coming back for another couple of years. So I think Tanner will be well over 2,000 yards passing this year and probably 20 touchdowns. I mean, and he works his fanny off in the weight room. Like, he does not lift like a quarterback in the weight room.
Yeah, and I think, isn't he a dual sport guy too? Plays basketball.
He is. He's actually really big into golf and is playing on our golf team this fall. He has been an exceptional basketball player. He did not play this season, which is probably the first season that he has not played basketball in years. So I'm hoping that, and I think next year he'll get back into, getting back into basketball. But he's an exceptional golfer, and he's on our golf team this spring as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's got that golf mental focus. Watch out. And yeah, he had a great completion percentage last year, 60%. So yeah, definitely we're excited about him. What you mentioned, the new offense though, and what's the goal this year? Just finding more guys to get involved, get the ball to, getting some depth in the running back, the backfield, or who are you expecting just to step up to help balance out the attack?
And that's the nail on the head. We were not able to run the ball effectively last year, and even the year before. The last couple of years, our run game has really struggled. Keith Adams Jr. transferred out and went to Utah, what would have been his senior years for 2 years ago, and then last year, we really struggled. We played 3 sophomores at running back last year before we moved Zy Johnson, a senior who was a safety for us, and we moved him the second half of the year, and he did a phenomenal job, ended up being our leading rusher. But we definitely got to get better in the run game this coming year. And we got dinged up with injuries last year and just getting some consistency. But the 3 backs we got are all 10th graders. They'll be 11th graders this coming year, and I'm super excited about them. They're led by Jared Jones, is a nifty outside runner. You got Christian Irwin, he's our pounder, and then Malachi Eccles, who pound for pound is probably one of the strongest guys on our team. I always joke with him he needs to eat a few cheeseburgers, but he's electric with the ball in his hand as well. So between those 3, I'm extremely excited about the direction that our run game's headed.
Yeah, and I saw you guys named Cole Marsh your new freshman coach. I know you guys take your youth program very seriously. It's such a huge, just important thing for keeping you guys competitive and that pipeline going. So talk about just that hire, that decision, and just what you're looking forward to and building for the future of Cherokee.
Yeah, I always tell our coaches, that I want us to coach our kids the same way they've coached their own. And what I mean by that is, and my son is about to be an upcoming freshman, so I want, those guys to hold it to hopefully, to what we've been preaching in regards to that. And we want to treat the kids on our team the same way that they would treat their own children, or kids. So, but Coach Marsh was with us last year, came from Jones County last year and was an assistant with the 9th grade. And then our 9th grade coach is getting out of teaching and coaching altogether and getting into the family business, Jason Bond. So that spot opened, and Cole slid right in. And he is, the thing with Cole, he's a great young coach, but he does a lot of the things that a lot of coaches nowadays don't like to do. He's the line the field guy, wash laundry, last one here type guy. And I'm really excited about that. Not to mention my son will be on that freshman team. And so I'm just extremely excited for that group in general. And, all the way down, we are heavily involved, our coaches, myself included, with our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade in our junior program, and putting the right coaches in place for that, and just making sure it's a great experience for our kids at the middle school level, and then being able to run our offense and defense. We've run that all the way down to 6th grade. Our coaches are putting on clinics. We're out at the junior practices and always make ourselves available to those guys that are coaching our junior team, so that we have consistency. That's the one thing with being at Cherokee. We're not going to walk out with 10 Division I football players at any point. So our Joes don't match up with usually everybody else's Joes. So we're trying to outwork everybody and really invest in the junior program so that there's some consistency as those kids get up through our program and they know the details of what's important for us to be successful.
Awesome. Well, Coach, unfortunately we got to run, but best of luck to your basketball team. You guys will be playing Walton tomorrow night. That'll be a big, exciting one in the semifinals of Region 5. We're looking forward to watching you guys hit the gridiron next year. A lot of young, exciting playmakers. So great stuff, Coach. Thank you so much. We'll have to have you on again soon.
Sounds great. And if I could just give a quick shout out to our head basketball coach, Coach Veman, has had a tremendous season. Really proud of what they've accomplished, and along with Coach Cates, our girls program is a model of consistency. So they're region champs about every year. We're running out of space for banners for those guys in the gym, but just want to wish those guys and their teams and their players the best of luck at the region tournament at Wheeler this week.
For sure, that will be huge. Number 2 seed for the boys. I'll pull up the girls in a second on the other side, but thank you so much, Coach Shaw. Go Warriors.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yep. All right. So thank you, Coach Shaw, for coming on. I have to run. I know Vince Strine's ready to come on. We'll take one quick break and thank our sponsors, Georgia Farm Bureau.
This remains the same today. We've grown to support. Our mission has always been to support Georgia farmers. That's why we created Georgia Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, providing financial protection that farmers needed. While this remains the same today, we've grown to protect all Georgians through home, auto, and life insurance. From the very beginning and into the future, we stand for every Georgia community.
We are our Farm Bureau.
All right, welcome back. So real quick, I mentioned that the Cherokee boys, they will be playing Walton tomorrow night. They're the number 2 seed out of Region 5. Walton's the number 3. And then on the girls' side, Cherokee is the number 1 seed. They're going to be playing number 4 seed Wheeler. All those games, I believe, are at Wheeler High School. So that will be an exciting region semifinal matchup right there. Lots of basketball to get into, but we're going to go ahead and connect with our next guest. It's going to be North Springs Athletic Director Vince Strine, and it is very relevant to stick on basketball with them because their team just had a massive victory last night against GHSA in a battle of the Spartans. Guaranteed them a playoff spot, first time in 5 years. I believe they were like 4-50 in the previous seasons up until recently, and they have some special players, senior-led, that have really had an outstanding season. Get into their stats a little bit. And this isn't one of those regions where you make the playoffs because it's 5 teams or it's 4 teams. They're in a region with the top team in their class. They have Chattahoochee, Cambridge, Northview, 7-team region, so it is a big accomplishment that they're competing at that level. And Vince Strine, he's been familiar with the North Springs program. He actually stepped in as an interim head football coach at one point, and we'll talk to him about the state of the Spartans football program. Do we have him? Yep. Vince, thank you so much for coming on. How's it going?
Hey man, I'm doing great. I'm doing good. I bet your mama's happy with those Kansas City win on Sunday. I bet she's happy.
You have no idea.
No, she's a great lady. I remember all the Glazier clinics, she'd always, be the lady up there signing everybody in, and her and Trip. I know they're down there in Florida now enjoying the good life in sunny Florida. But, thanks for having me on. And I heard a little bit intro of the basketball team. And golly, I couldn't be more proud of those guys, especially the seniors. There's been some lean years for sure with that basketball team. And Coach Parks, Charles Parks, he's been here forever, and he's just done a great job and working through it all. Beat GHC last night, seeing 64-59, and going into that game, we had split the series in 1-1, so we knew, we had a shot. And so now we get to play against Cal tomorrow night at Chattahoochee High School at 7, defend all those giant humans that they have over there, somehow figure out how to defend the sky. But could be more proud of the basketball team and the seniors and just how they've worked so hard to battle through adversity and get to this point. Right on. They've done a great job.
Yeah, those Glazer clinics were always fun, and yep, they definitely enjoyed those times in
A
Florida.
lot of
Lots of
networking.
traveling for my mom, though. She never missed a game. She went down there to see them all. She's a true trooper. But yeah, I
Yeah,
want to
no,
talk about your basketball team a little bit. Just some of the playmakers that have helped make this run, and I look at it almost as like a similar situation to who's in Wheeler's region right now. It's like you mentioned Cal, they're outstanding, one of the top programs anywhere in the Southeast and the state. So there'll be another great test, but that's only kind of helped your guys realize what the challenge is and to show up and just put that effort in. But who are some of the just impressive guys that have really helped build that excitement this season?
well, the Modesto brothers. We've got Modesto brothers. One's a senior, one's younger, and they play well together. They're fun to watch. Anytime you got brothers on the court at the same time, they feed off each other and kind of magical. But it's kind of just a team effort. That's the thing. It's almost a no-name team, and they just get there and they grind. They get dirty with it. They work through the ebbs and flows of the game. Sometimes everything goes in, sometimes it doesn't, but they just grind it out. And to watch the pace that they play, the scrappiness that they play with. This is our first year in this region, and I knew coming into this region, I've been in Norfolk for a long time, and golly, they you have schools that you have Centennial and Chattahoochee. Chattahoochee's won the state championship. Centennial they both were in the Final Four. It seems like a couple years ago. You've got Kell, you have GAC that's always been extremely relevant in all their athletics, and just to watch them scrap, knew it was going to be hard, but just to see their accomplishments on the courts, it's just great. Like I said, it's kind of a no-name team in the sense of they're all getting the work done, and they're just fun to watch.
Yeah, they really did complement each other in that last one. You had four guys in double figures. The younger Modesto, that's Esmer. He has 18 points, 6 steals. That's the scrappiness. His older brother, he looks like he was just dominating the boards. 10 points, 12 rebounds, and then 6 assists. So everyone's kind of complimenting each other really well. I know that had to have been really exciting. What are you looking forward to just now that playoff berth secured? Obviously, it's a tough matchup against Cal, but just to have your guys able to experience playoff basketball, it's kind of like in college. It's like once you get in the tournament, anything can happen. So just how excited are you for North Springs to be represented?
No, it's awesome. It's funny. I just came back from Hobby Lobby. I don't know if you've ever been to that store. That place is amazing. It inspires me to get in touch with my artistic side a little bit. But I went to Hobby Lobby because apparently, they're enforcing, we've got the word team on the back of our jerseys. And, you can only have a team, a school name and last name. And so I've got to cover up all of our words teams on the back of the jersey. So there's a newness there. And the kids are excited. There's a buzz going on. They know we'll put a game plan together again for Cal today. They'll practice that and have the walkthrough tomorrow before the game. And they're just excited about the opportunity. You never know what's going to happen. And I think that's kind of revamped their energies, surely, and created this belief. We've had struggles a little bit this year. If I were to say we had a struggle, it's finishing the games, finishing the big games. And, last night they were able to do that and to hit a clutch 3 at the right time and had some free throws go in at the right time, being in bonus and being able to finish the game. I think they finally have being able to go through that. That could play dividends for them down the road.
For sure. So you can have your team name on the back, but you can't have the word team. Is that right?
That is right. You can have your school name on the back. You can have your last name on the back. You have your school logo on the back. But, someone, I guess, figured in all the things that are going wrong in this world today that's probably a pretty important one to fix, too. So, we'll cover up the word team and, we'll figure it out. Just let us play basketball. Just let us play ball.
Wow. So Hobby Lobby, do you find the colors to match, or would you just go in looking for fabric?
Yeah, so my next step now that I came back is I need to find iron and figure out how to iron these little strips of fabric onto the jerseys without burning a hole in the jersey. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. You know, it's kind of like some days are just like you're always fielding onside kicks, and that one, you know, of all the things, we'll you know figure out the jersey thing and move on. But you know, it's okay. I'm willing to do that as long as our basketball team is having a great season that they are and enjoying the season. It's a great experience for the kids and the coaches. All the hard work's paying off.
Absolutely. And it'll be a quick turnaround. They'll play Cal tomorrow night, and then Friday will be the championship game and the consolation. So that will be an exciting way to close this week. I want to ask you just about the football team, though. I thought last year you guys have been making really big strides. I brought it up, I think, last week because we're so close with our office to North Springs. I remember back in 2012 trying to get results from the games. It's like you guys were struggling. They didn't even care if we reported on it. But, I mean, since then, the North Springs football program really putting a good product out there. A 4-6 season last year, a great start. So what do you see just this last year in terms of the foundation that's been built there? Just what's the goal of this offseason?
Well, you know, North Springs High School is such a unique place. You know, we're trying to build the community feel within this part of Sandy Springs, the North Springs community. It's kind of been lost being such a transit community. Sandy Springs is changing. We're getting a new school building here. They're going to start putting shovels in the dirt in the spring of 24. So we're excited about that. We want to kind of latch on and build this community feel to North Springs. And so we just had to change the culture. And Coach Phillips was the head coach. He's now moved on to Campbell High School, and wish him the best there. But we need to change the culture. We needed to build this sense of brotherhood and community feel. And so they took great strides in doing that, teaching the hows and the whys of the game and football and how that relates to just the behavior in the school building. And you know, so they had a great season to build on from last year. You know, beat the other high school in Sandy Springs. I won't mention the name, but beat that school, that rival school, for the first time in a while. And that was where they were able to just build from there. And they had a couple of other big victories. And so, you know, we've got another coach picked for the job. We've been in talks with them. We've had the job out for a couple of weeks now, and we've picked somebody. We're just waiting for all the HR things to get settled and the you know, ink to dry, and we'll announce that. But super excited about the future of the football team and you know what's yet to come with that team.
Yeah, and I believe you're talking about Riverwood down the street. That was a big victory. They've been outstanding lately. I think just a similar situation. So you have Riverwood, you have Chamblee in that area. They had a just unbelievable season this last year. Dunwoody, they've been really competitive. So there is a lot of good football going on in those in kind of that area of schools. Who would you say, though, is the biggest rivalry? Like, is it Riverwood?
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, we were built in '63, and they were built in, I believe, '68, right? And they're just down the road a couple of miles, and you know that's the rivalry of the community. But you know, yeah, how look at every Friday night's the rival game, right? Everyone's you know, Dunwoody's so close by, and I like scheduling those games. You know, Dunwoody's not in our classification, but you know, that's really the battle for the community, and that's how I look at it. And those are games that I feel like we have to play every year, even though, like, you know, Riverwood's not in our region or our classification, but we need to play them because that's a game we're able to show out for our community, and you know, those rivalries go back a long time ago. So I think that's important. But yeah, I would say that Riverwood school would definitely be our biggest rival.
And then just, I mean, I've been noticing it too, which is like we cover all the sports. You guys had tons of swimmers qualify, wrestlers. Your baseball team is coming off an outstanding season. So how has just athletics at North Springs just been able to focus on? I mean, it's obviously great coaches too, but just really having that just widespread success athletically and buy-in.
Yeah, I think, you know, like you said, the coaches, I think just the idea of what's coaching look like in you know, a year-round program. what is your year-round plans? How are we going to continue to get better? Softball, they made the playoffs, and baseball the last 2 years have been region champions, and how do we continue that in this new region? Swimming's always been a strong sport for us. We had Leo Roden got first place in the 200 and the 100 free. Wally Chrisman got second place in the IM and the breaststroke, and Sydney Smith. We get Lottie Chappell. She's one of the top distance runners in the state. We have a state champ pole vaulter for 2 years in a row, and she's a junior now. We'll see if we can get 3 out of her. And it's just wrestlers are going to Macon tomorrow, and so it's just fun to watch. And a big thing, COVID really affected schools and it affected kids socially, and you're seeing that in the news every day. And what better avenue to get back on track with just our social values than athletics, and to enjoy success with it at the same time. I always say athletics can be a billboard for the school. Academics are extremely important, everything, but it's kind of your billboard, and all the values that I know you appreciate with athletics, and I appreciate athletics. I think having the success really drives home what we want to achieve as far as our social citizenship with our student athletes here at the school, and how they are within the community. So I'm so proud of the success, and it's all stems from the coaches and their grind, and just looking for new ways to teach the hows and the whys to these kids. And we've got a lot of great things going at North Springs, and more to come for sure.
Absolutely. So last year, or the last 2 years, breakout seasons for baseball, just outstanding. You mentioned the region championships. This year, the basketball team, they're playing at an extremely high level. But you're talking about North Springs just has a transient school. I know it's unique. It's a magnet program, all that going on. So what is it about North Springs, though, that makes it unique, just in terms of the community, people that come through it, just having all this going on there?
Yeah, Sandy Springs, this part of Sandy Springs is awesome as far as the businesses go. You have Mercedes-Benz down there. We have all – and there's so many opportunities for the students here to go further and get jobs within our community. And, Sandy Springs is one of the hottest growing areas in the state. And, it's becoming a more community feeling place. And so I think just there's so much right here, right on top of us, that our students are able to get engaged with in connection with their academics. With this new high school, they're floating ideas about different curriculums that would be very unique to North Springs High School, and a lot of those new curriculums are tied right to our businesses here in the community. And so there's just so many opportunities for our students to be plugged in here, and to build up our athletics program to where it needs to be. That's just been an amazing challenge that I've enjoyed, and I think our coaches enjoy it, and we're starting to see results, and our students understand their opportunities now more than ever. It is how I see this changing at North Springs.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the academics, it's always going to be challenging, but as you said, just the opportunity to compete in Georgia high school athletics, it's just an obvious memory that you get to hold on to, and a huge challenge, and just a lot of fun. And Sandy Springs for sure is blowing up. I mean, you mentioned the Mercedes-Benz down the street. It's just crazy. I think you guys have like a Lamborghini dealership down the road too?
Oh yeah. I mean, they're riding by every day. I need to get them do what Deion Sanders does, get them out here on the 50-yard line and just take some pictures with our upcoming 8th graders, and get some Bugattis, get some cars down there, and get
Martins.
Do it like Deion's doing it, Coach Prime.
That's a great idea. Well, thank you so much. Good luck on that head coaching search for football. We'll be looking for that news. When do you think we can expect to see an official announcement?
Man, I'd like to get this thing going here in the next couple of days, to be honest. I hope by the end of the week, awesome. We'll get it announced, and I know he's ready to hit the ground running. He's already doing some work and things like that in preparation. So, the sooner the better for everybody. And I know these kids are excited, and we just need to keep building on what we're doing, and keep striving for more. That's for sure.
Great. Well, best of luck to your football team. I'll tell Tripp and my mom you say hi. Thank you so much for coming on, and best of luck this week.
All right. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Yep. Go Spartans. All right. So a big week ahead for North Springs, not just with basketball. You mentioned it. Uh, the official announcement for the next head coach for football is potentially coming in the next couple of days. So that will be something we'll be looking forward to hearing for sure. But we'll go ahead and take one more quick break and thank our sponsor, Georgia Farm Bureau.
Our mission has always been to support Georgia farmers. That's why we created Georgia Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, providing financial protection that farmers needed. While this remains the same today, we've grown to protect all Georgians through home, auto, and life insurance. From the very beginning and into the future, we stand for every Georgia community.
We are our Farm Bureau.
All right, welcome back. I won't take up too much more time. Just got two areas I want to hit. One, I'm going to highlight Georgia's top football player this past season, and then I was looking at what he did in the recent All-American Bowl game, and he played a lot of offense. So he's obviously already enrolled at Alabama. I actually talked to his father, Gary Downs, this past Sunday at a Super Bowl party. He obviously played in the NFL, played for the Falcons, and he was just talking about Caleb's skill set. Just he's always been able to do kind of everything on the field. So we'll talk about that. Then I'll have one major story that I'm looking forward to tonight afterwards. But I have three clips on Caleb Downs that I think really poses this question, because if you're Alabama, I don't think you can waste his offensive abilities. I mean, we say it all the time. Caleb Downs was a guy that did literally everything except kick the ball. He threw touchdowns. He was a dangerous return man. He ran the ball. He could catch the ball. And then defensively, his knack for creating turnovers was unbelievable. He had like 10 interceptions pretty much, it seemed like every year, forced fumbles. He's ripping the ball out. Just one of the most aware football players I've ever seen, a true competitor. So that's something else that I really like about Caleb. It's like, what makes him so special? Is it just a focus? Is it a confidence? Is his mind just like more clear when he's on the field? He's comfortable. His ability to take advantage of every play and just kind of take things to the next level. But we'll go ahead and get started. The first clip is going to be from the Corky Kell. This was literally on Mill Creek's first possession of their state championship season. It's going to be a huge run in Mercedes-Benz and a great offensive play, obviously. He did it all year long, but just think about how valuable he was to Mill Creek last season, being that guy they can rely on early while they start to get more guys involved. Cam Robinson, Trajan Greco, who is it? Forgot the receiver's name. But yeah, Mikael Wood, yeah, that's some other big playmakers too. But having him able to just fill all these different roles, he really was, he'll go down one of the best high school football players in the state. I think he had close to 20 rushing touchdowns last year. And as I mentioned, in the All-American game, I think he had multiple touchdowns too. He's playing both sides, but he's really taking a lot of carries, and he's a fantastic running back. He's patient. He has the physicality. He has that breakaway speed, and he's obviously just hard to tackle. So I really think Alabama, I mean, they obviously know the type of playmaker they're getting. They've watched his film. They recruited him. They brought him in to headline this most recent class. But I just think there's no way they don't take advantage of his offensive abilities, at least putting him in on some key plays. I think it would be wise to do so. But let's go ahead to this next clip. This is by far my favorite. This was against Parkview. This is what he does defensively. He creates turnovers, and even in a play where he's in that safety role, he's just trying to make sure nothing gets broken up. He comes down, makes the play of the game. And honestly, I'm going to go in next week and try to do my top 10 plays of the season. I think this one's definitely going to be on it. But let's check out this play against Parkview to seal the game and just look at the awareness of Caleb Downs to make this play.
Nice.
So he comes in right there, rips it right out of his hands. We'll watch it one more time. You can see he realizes he has the ball. He holds it up to show.
Nice. Oh, he just.
That's a special player right there. You have guys that will come in, they're playing too fast, they're overthinking it. They'll try to come in and make a big hit. He's too physically gifted to even need to worry about that. He just comes in, wraps him up, pulls it out in a split second, and then gets upfield. Just so talented. And then we'll see. And you guys should go to Twitter, just type in Caleb Downs, look at the coverage of the All-American game, just see all the plays he made. It was fantastic. It wasn't just in the game either. The practices were outstanding. So he's just had such an incredible year. Talk about what he did at Mill Creek. He enrolls early at Alabama, gets to dress out for the Sugar Bowl victory. And then even after he's enrolled, he goes and plays in the All-American game and just absolutely balls out. So he never had an off week this entire season, start to finish, just showing why he is the best player in the country. And he was obviously at the top of our list as well. Appreciate it. I'll look at the menu in a sec. Yeah, so let's run this clip. This is from the All-American game. And just look at how good he is just in the red zone, just running this ball in. And so this is that offensive ability I'm talking about. He's a great safety, but, man, having a back that has this vision and ability to just bounce it out and get in the end zone, I think there's every college in the country that would want to have him in the backfield, but he's just so good defensively, so we'll see. It's all good. No, I threw. Yeah. So this is what we saw all year with Mill Creek. Him, once they got in the red zone, just beyond dangerous. Kept running the ball in for scores, multiple touchdowns every game.
Takes the snap, runs it to the right side, and an easy lane.
So he had multiple highlights from that game, but just from the very beginning against Walton, unbelievable game, played both sides of the ball, carried Mill Creek throughout the entire season to wrap up an outstanding career. Comes from a great football family. His dad was a absolute stud, had a great career in the NFL. His older brother's a baller also, and then he is he's on track to potentially be the most special out of them all.
His brother could go first round.
Yeah, Najee says his brother Josh could go first round. So let's see where he's being projected at this point. And he obviously plays wide receiver. Yep, he's projected first round. Let's see. They're ranking him as the number 5 available receiver, but some have him higher. He had 94 catches this last season, over 1,000 yards, so very impressive. And he declared early, correct?
He declared.
Yeah.
A lot of analysts who watched some of the games said that he's one of the best receivers in college football.
Yeah, one of college football's best pass catchers is turning pro. So, I mean, that is a special family right there. The dad played in the NFL. Josh is about to potentially go in the first round, and then Caleb Downs, what he's going to do at Alabama. Watch out.
Should get him on the show.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Who is Dad, Gary?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him for sure. But, yeah, one of the questions I asked him, I asked if he was going to get a Sugar Bowl ring, because that would be the first player I've ever heard of that got a state championship ring and a bowl ring in the same year. And he said he didn't know he might. So I'm keeping track on that. I think that would be really exciting. And we'll stick with Alabama because I wanted to come on and say what is my biggest headline, the biggest thing I'm focused on today, and it is by far the game tonight, number 1 Alabama basketball against Tennessee. It's just huge. You do not see Alabama at the top of the polls too often. It hasn't happened, I think, since 2003. And this is a big rivalry. I mean, Tennessee and Alabama in football last year was one of the best games of the season. Tennessee obviously got the win. Tennessee's basketball team has struggled lately. They had the heartbreaking loss to Missouri. They're going to want to come in and do what they did in football, knock off the number 1 team. So it's just going to be crazy. That, I believe, tips off at 7 o'clock. But I really think in terms of just a regular season matchup that has bigger implications to the recruiting, the prestige around the programs, and just what the two schools are trying to accomplish just as athletic powerhouses, not just in football, across the board. I think it's a big opportunity and could be a statement win for Alabama if they go to Tennessee and get a big win. That will give them a lot of momentum. They've got some great playmakers on their team, so I just think that's a game to watch tonight. At least check in on because it would be very exciting regardless of the result. So that's all I have for you right there. We'll have plenty of high school basketball coverage tonight. What you got, Najee? We mentioned some of the big matchups last night. North Springs win over GHC, I thought, was definitely one of the more notable ones. Just that was a must-win for them, setting that up. But tonight's going to be super busy. A lot of these regions are going to wrap up on Friday and Saturday, but this is really when it gets busy, and we'll start having those playoff brackets filled out as well, and that'll be at scoreatl.com. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow with Keeping It Real with Najee Wilkins. I'll be in the chair producing. I know he'll have a lot of great content, clips, and breaking news stories to get to. So we will be back tomorrow, and thank you for joining us.